Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and by another video I mean another tier list. I decided that I wanted to rank all of the Pokemon, and I started with generation 1, so now we're on to generation 2. Yay! When I'm ranking these, it's off of my personal opinion, my preference, my design preference, any nostalgia that I have for them, stuff like that. This is not an objective ranking unless you think I'm the objective opinion on all of the matters, which thank you. But we have to get started, and that means getting started with the grass starters. So we have Chikorita, Bayleaf, and Meganium. Now here's something that I have to lay down upon you, feeling a little bit bad for you. I don't like Chikorita very much at all. I think Chikorita is ugly, and I think they are my least favorite of all of the starters in Gen 2. So Chikorita is gonna go down in C tier, which is quite possibly the lowest any starter will go. Well, actually, that's probably not true because X and Y has some pretty bad ones in my opinion. I actually do like Bayleaf and Meganium. I think Meganium and Bayleaf are probably both A tier. I might put Bayleaf in B tier and Meganium in A. That feels right to me. Now, of course, next up we have Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion, and this is where things get interesting because where I hated Chikorita, I really like Cyndaquil, and I think Cyndaquil is probably my favorite starter of Generation 2. So I'm gonna put Cyndaquil in S tier. I do like Quilava. I think Quilava is in A tier. And then unfortunately, I think Typhlosion is just a B tier. I think the line gets a little bit worse as it evolves. And then we have the water starters with Totodile, Croconaw, and Feraligatr. Now usually I am a water starter defender. I don't know if I need to defend them at all, but I just tend to prefer the water starters. And that's not quite true in Generation 2. I do like Totodile though. I will put Totodile in like A tier. Croconaw, I'm kind of just feeling the top of B. And then Feraligatr, I don't know. Again, it's just for some reason I don't really like it that much. I'm thinking maybe B tier or C tier. All right, here we have Sentret and Furret. We have to have a basic normal Route 1 Pokemon, and that is what we have here. These guys I actually think are fairly cute, which I don't always feel about the Route 1 normal types. I think Sentret and Furret are, I'm thinking maybe B tier, but I do like them kind of up above here. Actually, I think I like Bayleaf more too. All right, and now we have Hoot Hoot and Noctowl. This is definitely one that I think they missed the bat on. This is our Route 1 bird. I like Hoot Hoot, and Hoot Hoot will stay in A tier. The eyes are very appealing. The single, I assume it's actually two legs, but they're just put together to look like one. I really like Hoot Hoot. I think they nailed this one. And then we have Noctowl. And this is just a very basic fucking bird. You have a very unique original design, and then you just fuck it up and you make it less interesting. So Noctowl is gonna be a C tier. All right, now we have Lediba and Ledian. I think that these two are fine. I don't like Ledian as much. I don't know what it is. I think it's just a little less cute. And if it's gonna be less cute, it might as well be more cool or interesting. And in my opinion, Ledian doesn't really do that much. And then Lediba, I'm thinking top of B tier. Okay, now we have Spinarak, and I think your Ariados, maybe. These two are kind of forgettable to me. I forget that they exist frequently because when I think of spider Pokemon, I go to Joltik and Gargantua or whatever that one's called. I do like Spinarak though. I like the little kind of face on its back. I think the Spinarak is kind of cute. I don't really find Ariados compelling. The one thing I like about Ariados is the name. I think Ariados is just a fun thing to say. Oddly enough, I kind of want to keep Spinarak in A because I think it's kind of cute. Ariados is definitely not there. I think you might be my first D tier. Ah, Crobat. I believe this one is Crobat. I think that I got that wrong in the first one. Generation 2, from what I recall, has a decent amount of evolutions or pre-evolutions introduced. Crobat, I think I like. I like that you gain the kind of like weird 4 wings thing. Like, I don't know what this is. Here's the thing. I don't feel like Crobat is an A tier. I like you more than these guys, I think, but I still don't think you're worthy of A tier. All right, here we have, I believe, Chinchou and Lantern. Chinchou, I like. Chinchou is going to be an A tier. I think you're fun. I like your little, like, anglerfish type of lures. I like your plus eyeballs. And then again, we go to Lantern, and it just takes away a lot of the interesting stuff. So Lantern is going to be a C tier. Ah, the first. Here we are. We got Pichu, the first of the pre-evolutions introduced. I actually think I like Pichu more than any of the Pikachu line. I'm considering Pichu an A tier. Yeah, I'll leave you there. That seems fine. I believe this is Cleffa. This is, of course, the pre-evolution to Clefairy, I'm pretty sure. Cleffa, I like more, again, than the Clefairy line in general, I'm pretty sure. You are not an A tier though. You're kind of given C tier to me. Now we have Igglybuff? Is that what you're called? This is the pre-evolution to Jigglypuff, and this is one that I don't like as much as Jigglypuff as the evolution. Yeah, you can be B tier. There's going to be so many B tiers. I can already feel it. I don't know. I'd put you like there maybe. Oh, and then we got Togepi and Togetic. I don't know what it is about these guys, but I do really like them. I do like Togetic more. I'm going to put Togetic, I think, honestly, I'm going to put you up at the top of A tier. I feel similarly about Togepi as I do Pichu, but I like Togepi a little bit more. Oh, now we're talking. Natu and Xatu. I love these little guys. I think Natu and Xatu are definitely close to being S tier. Natu might be S tier and Xatu might be A tier, is what I'm thinking right now. All right, Mareep, Flaffy, and Ampharos. Again, some of these I'm like, I don't know how you got the names for these, but here we are. These guys are fine. I think that this is a weird evolutionary line because they change so much. We have blue skin to pink skin to yellow skin, and it's just very, very confusing to me. Mareep, I'll put you in A tier. Flaffy, I think I like you because you're pink. Flaffy, I think you might also be A tier actually. And then Ampharos, you're fine, but you're gonna be B tier for me. I don't know, you're not as interesting. You don't have any of the fluff that the others do, and that's a little disappointing, I think. All right, now we have Blossom, I think. You're very forgettable to me. Blossom's going to be a C tier. Well, you might be a D tier actually. And then we have Meryl and Azumarill. I like these two. I don't know what these two are supposed to be, but I think they're fun. I like Azumarill enough to keep you in A tier. I think Meryl is B tier, like there. Sudowoodo, very funny Pokemon. Weirdly, a rock type, but also I guess that makes sense because his name is Fake Wood. I think that Sudowoodo is a fucking weirdo, and I love that about him. Also, isn't this like Brock's Pokemon from the anime, basically? The more that I'm looking at this, the more that I want to put you up here and bring you down here and maybe put Sudowoodo here. I just really like the weird little face you got. I like your stance. I like the weird thrusting forward stance that you got. All right, here we have Politoed. This is an evolution to the Poliwag line. I believe it's a split evolution, and I don't much care for Politoed. I mean, like, you're okay. I don't know, you're not as interesting as any of the others. I think you might go here. And also, the more I'm looking at Ledian, the more I want to put you down here. Okay, here we have an interesting grass line. Hoppip, Skipluff, Jumpluff. I think you're Skip Bloom. I don't know. This is to me one of the most forgettable grass lines in the games. I think Hoppip is at least kind of fun. I also don't know what you're supposed to look like or be. I'm gonna allow you to be here. And then these guys are going down in D tier. Oh no, we got a monkey. It's Apom. I don't know. Apom's a weird one a little bit to me. They got the like the hand tail, which is definitely a fun design. I just think it's a little silly. Normally, I don't really like the monkeys in Pokemon. I think Apom is fine though. I don't have anything terrible against you. I think you're probably a B tier maybe. Sunkern and Sunflora. Sunkern and Sunflora are very weird to me. Sunkern looks like the crying child from FNAF or the puppet, and Sunflora looks like a pervert. I don't know why I dislike Sunflora as much as I do. I think you're both D tier. Here we have Yanma. I like Yanma. You kind of look like an airplane. I think that's fun. Weirdly, I think Yanma is an A tier for me. I don't know why, but you get to be. All right, Wooper and Quagsire. I like Wooper and Quagsire a lot. I think Wooper would go like here, and then Quagsire I don't like quite as much. I love your derpy face though. You kind of look like Ditto took over ya, but you're not. You just look like that, don't you, buddy? Maybe like there. The two new evolutions. We got Espeon and Umbreon, right? This is Espeon, I believe. Umbreon is probably one of my favorite evolutions. It's very simple. I don't know why. I think it just works for me. You are going to be an A tier. And then Espeon is also going to be A tier because I do like you. I like the weird little split tail, the double ear thing. You look like a psychic type because you are. All right, here we have Murkrow. Murkrow I think is a good bird in the game. I feel like you're probably B tier though, and I'd put you like there. Here's Slowking. I like Slowking a lot. I like that you got the guy on your head, the Shelder, is that your name maybe? I like that you have the little neck thing. I think Slowking can go like there. Misdreavus, again, another one that I'm kind of surprised is just a single stage in Generation 2. I'm feeling maybe C tier for you. I just don't love the design. I think you're okay. And then we have Unknown. I didn't know that Gen 2 is the one that introduced Unknown, but here we are. We have Unknown, and I think Unknown is fun. I like that you have all the different forms of Unknown for the language. I think that's fun. On your own, though, I don't think you're like as a design, I don't think you're that interesting. I like that you got to fit in the eyeball, though. I think that's interesting. I don't know. I'd say you're probably B tier, like above Apom, maybe. All right, and then we have Wobbuffet, and Wobbuffet is absolutely an S tier Pokemon. It's so far my favorite of Generation 2. I don't know what he is, and that doesn't matter. He looks like one of those things that you like punch and then it comes back up at you. All right, and then we have Girafarig, and Girafarig is also S tier for me. I don't know what it is about Girafarig that I like so much, but I really like it. Number one, I just like giraffes, and this is mostly a giraffe, but it has fun little design elements where its back half is like another version of giraffe. I don't know how to describe it, but I like it. It's really fun to me. All right, now we have Pineco and Fortress. I think these two are weird to me because they don't look like they are evolutions of each other at all. I do kind of like Pineco, but like your Pinecone with eyes, it's not that interesting. I'll put you there though. And then Fortress, I don't love you and I think you're gonna go there. Dunsparce I think is a very fun Pokemon. I don't know that I've ever fully understood what Dunsparce is. I think it's supposed to be like a cicada husk maybe. I like the little blue greenish spikes at the bottom. To me that's always read as like little goatee type of things. Dunsparce gets to be, you'll be an A tier. All right, here we have Gligar. I like Gligar quite a bit. I think you might just be top of B tier, but I like you. All right, here we have Steelix, the evolution to Onix. I think Steelix is fun. I think what I like about Steelix is that it gets like the Chad jawline. The rest of it, I don't know. I don't care that much for, but I think you're probably a B tier at least for me. All right, Snubbull and Granbull. I honestly have never really liked these two. I think they're really ugly. Nothing against pit bulls. I just don't like the Pokemon version of a pit bull. I'm sorry, but this is gonna be my first F tier. All right, here we have Quillfish. I mean, Quillfish is mostly just a buffer fish, but I like Quillfish's design. I think I want to keep you at the bottom of A tier exactly where you are, actually, so that's what I'm gonna do. Now, I think this is Sizor. Are you the evolution to Scyther? I frankly don't know. I think you're cool. It looks like you gained like a Gundam armor suit almost, and I like that about you. And I think you're probably also A tier for me, here-ish. All right, here we have Shuckle. Shuckle is one of the silliest looking Pokemon in this generation to me, and I like silly. I think Shuckle's an A tier for me. I think if you're that goofy, you gotta be, right? Here we have Heracross. I have always liked Heracross. I'm not exactly sure what it is. You are basically just a rhino beetle, but I like that you kind of got the samurai thing instead of the regular horn. Heracross is also A tier. We're doing a lot of A tiers right now. That's okay though. I'm allowed to do that. It's my list. All right, Sneasel. How much do I like you? I do like you, but I think you're just a B tier. To me, Sneasel's always been like, you got the Scraggy and Scrafty and Sneasel and Weevil line, and I like Scraggy, Scrafty more. All right, Teddy Ursa and Ursaring. I like these two because I like bears, but I don't like these two because I think they're kind of generic and a little bit boring. Again, I don't hate these guys. They're just not my favorite. I'm kind of thinking they might both be B tier, and I think I like Teddy Ursa a little bit more because it just feels a little bit more unique. Slugma Magcargo. Slugma balls, am I right? Okay, I'm sorry. I like these two. They are lava slugs, and that's about it, but I like them. I think these guys are also A tier, which is a problem because A tier's thick as heck already. All right, here we have Swinub and Pillow-Swine. These guys are ones that I know very well because I seem to always get Pokemon cards of these two. I think that they're cute, but I don't love them. I think they're kind of both B tier for me. Now we have Corsola. I like you because I like Coral. I think you're a little bit boring though. I'm gonna put you in B tier, like there. Remoraid, Octillery. These two I think are weird. Again, this is another one where I'm like, how are you evolutions of each other? You don't really share any traits at all. And I'm fine with an evolution not really being much like the start, but also this just doesn't make sense at all. How do you get an octopus from a fish? Remoraid is going to be probably C tier. I mean, I like Octillery. You're fun. I like your kind of half-lidded eyes. You're an octopus, so I like that. I might put you up above the Magcargos. Now we have Santa Claus. Oh, sorry. Delibird or Delibird. It might be Delibird because like delivered, but I've always said Delibird, which I thought was terrible because deli like fresh meat bird. Delibird, I'm going to continue to say it that way because that's how I've always said it, is an ugly Pokemon that I don't like. I don't know why Santa is here. I think you're C tier around there. All right, this I think is Mantine. You're a manta ray type of Pokemon. It's giving B tier to me. Also, is that a little Remoraid? I think that's fun, but ultimately I think you're like down there. Skarmory. I love Ska. This is a metal bird, and I think it's just kind of all right. You might be a C tier for me. I don't... Armor... Metal bird should be fun, but for some reason I just never darn fucked with Skarmory. Houndour and Houndoom, I like you, and that's not just because you're good looking puppos, heckin' doggos. If you dislike that, make sure to like the video. I think they're both A tier. If you got a good dog Pokemon, I'm happy. And these are good dog Pokemon to me. And then Houndour, you're fine. I don't like you as much though. You are still very cute, and I'd probably put you right there. All right, this one is Kingdra. As we know from the first one, I like this line. I like Kingdra a lot. I like that it has the crown. It's a seahorse. It's a horse. You are definitely sticking up in here. Fanpea and Donphan. As much as I like elephants, I don't like these elephant Pokemon very much. I don't know what it is. I think they're kind of ugly. Fanpea, I think you're C tier. And then Donphan, I don't really like you that much. I think you're D tier. Whoa! It's the sequel to Porygon. It's Porygon 2. I think it's hilarious that they just stick a number onto the end of it. Porygon 2, I think I actually like more than Porygon, because obviously the thing that makes Porygon interesting is that it's polygonal, and then Porygon 2 is not that. You're very smoothened out, but I like how you look more. So despite the fact that it makes you a little less unique, I like you more, and I think you are A tier. All right, Stantler. I really don't like Stantler. Between the weird fucking thick round ass and the weird puffy face and the not appealing antlers, Stantler's just ugly to me. Now listen, I think Stantler is kind of in a class of so ugly it's fun, but ultimately I'll put you at the top of D tier. Alright, here we got Smeargle, the artist Pokemon that paints with him tail. I'm thinking Smeargle can go like there. Alright, Tyrogue and Hitmontop. These guys are fun. They are in the same vein of Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, but I don't like either of them as much as those two, I don't think. Tyrogue, I like fine enough, but I think you're B tier. And then Hitmontop, I think, is also B tier. I think more than Tyrogue, though. Alright, more pre-evolutions, kind of. We got Smoochum, the pre-evolution of Jinx, I believe. And Smoochum, I like more than Jinx. I do think you're going to be C tier still, though. Another pre-evolution, Elekid. I like that you have, like, the outlet prongs on you. I like you more than Electabuzz, but I also just think you're B tier because I don't really like you that much anyway. Actually, I think you're C tier. Looking at B tier, I think you're C tier. Magby, this is the pre-evolution to Magmar, and I actually think Magby is really cute. I hate Magmar for the most part, and Magby I think is very cute, and this is one that I would choose to not evolve. This is crazy. I think Magby gets to be an A tier, which is insane giving my stance on Magmar. All right, we have Miltank. And Miltank is a weird one for me because it's a cow. And I like cows, but I don't know why I don't like Miltank. Something about Miltank, I don't love you. I think this one would upset some people, but I think Miltank for me is C tier. Alright, I believe this is Blissey, evolution to Chansey. I like Blissey more than Chansey, and I think the reason for that is because it has the white additions to it. It's no longer just kind of boring and a round thing to me. Like, this looks like a nurse outfit a little bit, which I think is the point because you're a nurse Pokemon with an egg. Blissey's still gonna be like C tier for me, but like you've got to bump up from what I originally felt about you. Alright, I could move on to the legendaries for now, and I don't think these are considered legendary. Unless they are, you can correct me. But we're going on to Larvitar, Pupitar, Tyranitar. And this is an interesting line. And by interesting, I mean I don't really like it. I think, frankly, all of them go in C tier. Now, I do like Pupitar more, the most out of these guys. I think Pupitar can go like there, Tyranitar can go like there, and Larvitar can go like there. Alright, we're gonna do Celebi next. You're a weird legendary for me because I don't care about you that much. Normally, I think legendaries are at least somewhat fun. I don't know, I think Celebi's just kind of here. You kind of look like an onion sprout or something. I'm feeling C tier for a legendary Pokemon, and that's weird. That's crazy. All right, now we're going to do Lugia and Ho-Oh. I really like Lugia. Lugia, I think, is going to be an S tier for me. Now, again, is it a little bit generic and basic of me to put a legendary in S tier? Sure. But it's my list. Ho-Oh, I think is fun. I just don't really like Ho-Oh that much, especially not compared to Lugia. Like, I like Murkrow more than Ho-Oh. That's just kind of crazy. Alright, and I specifically saved the legendary dogs for last. These are the last 3 Pokemon of this ranking. But I love the legendary dogs. I very much enjoy them. We have Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, and I like all of them a lot. I think my favorite is Raikou, and Raikou is S tier. Entei is A tier. Entei I have a personal nostalgia for because this is one of those Pokemon cards that I found as a kid and was like, whoa, that's super special. And so I will always have a thing in my heart for Entei, despite thinking that Entei is my least favorite of the legendary dogs. Suicune, I kind of also think S tier. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you'll allow me, I'm gonna go through this one more time, rearrange any final Pokemon that I think need to be rearranged, and I'll be right back. As in, like, right now. Alright, and here we have it, my final ranking of Pokemon Generation 2. Now, I'm curious to know what some of your opinions are. Of course, be nice about it, please, in the comments. This is my opinion, my personal feelings on Generation 2 Pokemon. I like knowing what people think about Pokemon. Even if you love a Pokemon that I hate, or I hate a Pokemon that you love, I want to know about it, alright? I do. I really do. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I will be going through all of the Pokemon in due time throughout the course of the year, probably, as I try and rank every Pokemon ever made. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!